What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin and Litecoin and see where we're headed, if this bull run's going to continue. And then we're also going to take a quick look at silver, gold, and the Dow. So definitely stick around. Don't forget, there's a free Discord group in the description below the video. Totally free, guys. Check it out. It's an awesome community. Let's get into the video. All right, guys, as always, I want to remind you I'm not a financial advisor. This is not trading or investing advice. There's a disclaimer scrolling on the bottom. Read it. This is my opinion, not yours. All right, let's look at the fear and greed index. We are at 54. That's dropped one since yesterday. I know a lot of people are expecting a retracement at any moment, which is definitely possible, but we're going to take a look at both case scenarios. Let's look at the Bitfinex, BitMEX, and Binance total longs and shorts. Longs are at 66.51, shorts are at 33.49. Bitfinex longs are still crazy high. Let's take a look at silver. So he's had these targets here for a while, and it looks like it could be playing out. This is silver. Let me zoom in here. Looking at this as a bull flag, gets us up to around that 1970, but I did have these targets in here for quite some time. We've been watching. I haven't pulled them up for a while. But looking at this whole thing from the breakout over here as a flag pull, and this is a bull flag, gets us up to around that $22 range. That would be breaking this neckline, and I'll show you what the neckline is to me in a minute. Taking this measured move from this wedge here and putting it up to here gets us up to that 1970 range. Now, if you look at the whole picture, this looks like a big Adam and Eve here, and the neckline is going to be around the $20, $21 range, right in that area. If that was to break and get up to this 22 target, I would expect a retest of that and then continue on up. And the measured move of that for silver would get us all the way up to around $27 would be the measured move of this Adam and Eve here. We'll see what happens. Let's look at gold. So gold, I have the same thing going on. Looking at this as a flag pull, and bull flag would get us up to around 1680. But let's take a look at this whole thing right here as a flag pull, and we bring it up to the breakout of the flag. Gold could possibly reach right in the 1741 range. I also have. We've already hit this target. There is a possibility of a correction here, guys. Back down a little bit, but everything looks strong. We're on top of the EMAs. Let's look at the Dow. The Dow, we've had these targets here for quite some time, 3 weeks, month, something like that. Still looking to come up to the 32, 34 range is my first target here. And my target after that would be 35.2 if we break this here. Dow is cranking up today. We could see this within the next couple weeks. And if you look here, real quick, looks like this is a head and shoulders possibly forming, which may end up, where it's at now, coming up, coming back down to test, and then coming back to the 35. That's looks like a possibility. So let's get into Bitcoin, what we're all here for. So looking at the monthly, volume still declining while in this formation. I know the formation changes whether we look at the weekly or the monthly or the daily. So what I did here was I cloned this bottom line, and it looks more like a falling channel or bull flag instead. But the top of that on the monthly this month, if we close above 92.45, that will be closing above this. That will be extremely bullish. As you can see in the monthly, it hasn't shown the volume of an actual breakout of this, but it is still early in the month, guys. So let's go. Well, it's not early in the month. What is it anyway? The 17th. Yeah, about the middle of the month. So let's look at the weekly. I've went over this a few times. I'm not going to go over it again, the measurements of how I come up with this 11.1 as a possibility to touch the top of this orange triangle here. But I will zoom in on the weekly and look. It's same thing on the weekly. We really haven't had breakout volume on the weekly. Obviously, the week isn't over. So looking at this, it does look like we broke out here, and a measured move of that as a wedge would get us up in the $12,500 range, somewhere in that area. But like I said, watch my previous videos and it'll show you why I have this. And this is might be what we are looking to get here, guys. I'll just show you real quick. Inside this triangle, come up one more touch, rejection, back up, and then blast off. As you can see, like I said, there's no volume breakout there. Let's take a look at the support and resistance line I have here. We capitulated back in 2013 under it. And this is on the weekly RSI, guys. We broke back above, tested it for support, and continued on with our 2017 bull run. And then we broke back down, capitulated in 2018 under that same support line. Got back above it, tested it for support, and this is where we're at now. I did have this falling channel in here in the RSI. Talked about it a few weeks ago. If we closed outside of it, which we have, that it was going to be pretty damn bullish, and it has been. If you guys are interested in trading this stuff, I have 2 links down below. I have a Prime XBT link. If you make a deposit, they give you an extra 35% on top of your deposit. So if you deposit $100, they give you $35 on top of it for trading. You can't withdraw that, but you can keep the profits off of it. There's also a Bybit link down there that gives you a $90 bonus, and once you get in there, it shows you how to get it. I will leave a link up above for the Bybit tutorial. Definitely check it out if you guys are interested in trading. And let's look at the daily. So looking at the daily, same thing, this falling wedge here. What I'm looking at here, guys, is if this about 88.60 holds, this could be pretty bullish today, guys. But let's look at this. I was looking at this as a rising, broadening wedge in here, right? And we've poked through a few times. So I like to use my wicks. I'm strict on the wicks, guys. And once they're pierced through, my bias says that it's going up. That's what I believe once we pierce them. I know a lot of people use the bodies. I don't use the bodies. I'm more strict on that. But let's do a measured move of the breakout of this, guys. And that would get us up to around that 10.6 range would be the breakout of this rising broadening wedge, if that's the case. Now let's look at this target here. The next target is looking at this as a falling channel right here. You can see the resistance line down here, support up here, and take it up to the breakout. Gets us around that 91.27 range. As you can see, we've talked about this in the last few videos. The daily RSIs are just kicking ass. 8 has crossed the 200. Now the 13 has crossed the 200. 21's on its way. If that crosses, guys, that's going to be the next big leg up, I do believe. Let's look at the RSI. Now here's where it gets interesting. We had this falling channel here in orange. We broke up out of it here and developed a rising channel. And that's where we're getting resistance right now, guys, on the daily. If we close the daily above this, I think that's going to be super bullish, guys, for a nice move up. Let's see what we get here, but it is looking pretty good. We just got to break up above this channel. Let's look at the 4-hour and look at our targets in the 4-hour. I do want to, let me go back, guys. Sorry about that. I do want to take a look at our lower targets too. I want to remind you guys that it is possible that we get rejection up in this area and come down to, test lower lows. The 5,400 is the worst case scenario in my opinion. I do believe that the 0.786 will be the lowest it goes. And just for shits and giggles for the Elliott waivers out there, what if this is wave 1 and say we do come all the way down to the 54? And I don't think we're gonna, but Bitcoin does what it wants, so nobody knows. But let's say it went, let's measure it from where it's at now. This would be wave 1 down to wave 2. This is from where we're at now, because I do believe we've bottomed, guys. Wave 3 would get us up to approximately $24,000. So anyway, just a little EW there. You guys know I used to use Elliott Wave. I still use it a little bit in different parts, but I do not rely on it on any way. in any way, shape, or form. My trading improved 10 times when I quit by 10 times when I quit using it and just developed my own little simple method that I do show you guys. But anyways, so that would be the worst case scenario down here, guys, is that 5,400 in my opinion. If we did go lower, nothing says we have to. Let's look at the 4 hour and take a look at the more immediate targets. All right, so in the 4 hour, same thing, looking at this as a rising wedge with the breakout. 10.6 would be the measured move of the breakout of this rising broadening wedge. And then the 91.27 I had showed you here. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, guys. Let me go back to, this is my daily. I need to go into this 4 hour. All right, so looking at where we're at here in the 4 hour. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now, but the first measured move out of here, if this holds as support, guys, is around 93.57 would be the measured move off of that. And then we have measuring it as a bull flag. It could get us up to the 96.37 range. So that's my targets for right now. It actually starts at about 92.50. I posted this in our members group today. It's a little bit more detail we do in the members group. But anyways, yeah, this is what I'm looking at. But remember, this is a rising wedge we have here, which is a bearish pattern. But like I said, we have poked through, and when the wicks poke through the trend lines, guys, I think the trend lines are validated. Every time we beat on this, it's getting weaker and weaker, in my opinion. So in my opinion, we get up to that 91.50 to 93.50 range at least. But keep in mind, we could come back down and retest this channel. If we look at this falling channel here, if we retest that, let's do a measured move off that real quick. Measured move on the whole channel. It's right here. So if we measure that, it's where we broke out, guys. That would get us up to around the $11,900, $12,000 range. But of course, that is in the future. We got to keep our eye on what's going on right now. So if we were to come back down and test that channel, that's going to be around the 86.50 range, guys. If that was to happen and that broke, that would break this falling wedge. Then my measured move target is just measuring the wedge over here, the longest point. Say we broke down there at the 86.50 range. That'd get us down to the 72.81. If you guys remember, that's right around our 0.618 to 0.65 retracement zone. Right in here, which we keep getting support in here. This is what I do believe is the bottom, guys. And what I believe is everyone that went long here had their stops down here, and this was a stop hunt to eat those up and then continue up. That is my opinion. No guarantees. That's what it is, but that's the way I'm looking at it. And that's why I believe this was the bottom. But if this is a rising broadening wedge and we come back down to this 72.81 and it breaks, we don't get support, my next target's around that 5,500, and that's a measured move of the widest part of that wedge down. So yeah, and it could, the further it breaks, like if it breaks up in here, the further down it goes, but that gets us around that 5,400. So keep that in mind as our absolute low, in my opinion. But yeah, as of right now, I mean, even the 4 hour EMAs are looking super bullish. We're staying on top of them. Let's see what happens here, guys. I do believe we continue up if we don't break the 88.60 range. We're most likely going to go up to the $91 to $9,300 range. Let's look at the RSI. We were watching this in the members group, and I was talking about this rising broadening wedge here. If we closed a 4 hour below it, that would be bearish. And as you can see, we have not. I do want to show you and this is just an assumption right now, but you guys can watch it if you're doing your own charting. Whoops. Let me get that out of there. Let me get my pen. All right, so looking at this as a possible inverse head and shoulders, and it may come up to retest the top of this falling or rising channel here. It's definitely a possibility. If we fall out of the bottom of this wedge here, we're most likely coming all the way down, which would be the more bearish case scenario. So keep an eye on that, guys. It's going to get interesting. I think today might be a very interesting day. I think we're going to see some big moves one way or another. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel by ticking the notification, or by clicking the CryptoSavy logo above my head. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post new videos. I do daily updates every single day. Smash those likes, guys. It really helps the channel out. Leave your comments for a chance to win a free t-shirt. I do a comment drawing on Sunday. Make sure you watch. And that's it. Have a great day, guys. I'm out.